everybody, welcome to Off Road Ramble. A little bit different again this time. I'm with Michelle. Hi Michelle, thanks for joining us. So we've been on the road a little bit to get here rather than working from the dealership as we normally do. But I'm going to interview Michelle's going to tell us some bits and pieces about what she's done. Another insight into a really cool owner of a Grenadier. You can see here being effectively utilized to its full extent. But yeah, just a bit of a background with Michelle. She's a Rebelle Rally competitor, owns a Grenadier. So we thought we'd get her on the show and talk to her a little bit and find out what makes her tick. And there's quite a bit that makes her tick. So Michelle, thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So as a Grenadier owner, which we'll touch on some of why you into that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Rebelle Rally first. I mean, you've done that and you're doing that.
I'm doing that again.
Yeah. So it's July now. So you're doing it again when in
October 5th or 8th.
Yeah.
I think it's the 8th.
Okay, and this will be your fourth one, right?
This will be our fourth one. I do have a new teammate this year in the Grenadier, so this will be my first year in a Grenadier.
I would have thought doing it 4 times would have made you less likely to do another one.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, when you get done with the dust and the grit, and at the end of
because it's hard work, right?
Every time when you're passing that finish line, you just look at each other and say, "Dude, I'm never doing this again." And then the other person says, "Here, hold my beer. I'll see you next year."
Yeah.
And that's where we are. We're ready to go again. And so with a new teammate, so this will be an exciting year for us to be in a Grenadier and to be testing the limits of a new vehicle and a new teammate and a new partnership. So
okay, so a lot of different variables. Yeah. What sort of, is it a quartermaster or a Grenadier?
This is going to be a quartermaster I'm going to be in. So I'm super excited. Warner is our sponsor and is outfitting us to the best of our ability to set us up for success.
Yeah, that's the one that's being wrapped, and it's a beige colored one.
Yes, it's a beige. It's a mushroom.
Yeah,
it's mushroom with the fire red outline. Yeah, so it'll be the first quartermaster in the Rebelle.
But it's like a flat color, isn't it?
It's going to be a flat color. It's matte color, and they're actually going to be putting a flat bed on the back, so it won't be a typical truck bed with the tailgate. So it'll be very utilitarian and set up for ease of getting in and getting out and getting the flat tires in, getting the fresh tires out, which we don't plan on doing, but if we do, it's there.
Okay. Yeah. But that's nice that you've, so what vehicle did you do it in last time?
I have been in a Lexus GX 460 for the last 3. Completely different handling, turn radius. The stability in the Grenadier is night and day. I can't even, I am so excited to roll in a quartermaster.
If you don't know, the Lexus GX is a 460, right? Is basically a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado in other markets, which is a pretty capable vehicle, right?
Oh, it's extremely capable, but it just depends on the suspension and how you have it set up. I had Icon suspension. It was a little soft for me on the whoops, and there's a lot of whoops. And it literally, it can go on for 7 hours, it feels like, and it's just unrelenting. And so to be in the quartermaster and to take the whoops now and to feel the difference of that stability and the new suspension in it, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and slightly longer wheelbase than
wheelbase.
So I think with 127, I think are those. So
pretty close.
Really going to help, isn't it? With the whoop-de-doos.
Whoop-de-doos.
Whoop-de-doos. Yeah.
It feels like you're being waterboarded by the end of the day.
Hey, it's Tim here from Off Road Ramble. You've heard us talk about incredible adventures. Well, this year we're taking it up a notch. We're planning a full fall of unparalleled Grenadier experiences, from exclusive test drives at a private ranch to a massive charity car show, and of course the ultimate off-road pilgrimage to Moab. Trust me, you're going to want to be there. More details dropping soon on WarnerIneosGrenadier.com.
All right, and so have you got any idea where you'd like? This is terrible because it feels like these people who talk about sports and do you know how you're going to do? And they're like, nobody does, right? But I mean, what are you aiming for?
I mean, we are definitely aiming for top 10. It would be great to be a little bit above the top 10. I think we have the capabilities, but this is an anniversary year for the Rebelle, and so it's their 10th anniversary. There's a lot of really tough competitors that are coming back into the game this year that compete in Morocco and all around the world. And so we're going to have some pretty stiff competition, but I mean, I really do think we have the capability to be in the top 10.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's all about timing and precision and being able to keep the wheels rolling and keep the communication in the car clear and the friendship strong so that we can persevere through tough things and being able to get to the other side. And so that's
right.
ultimately what it's all about.
The other right.
The other right. Don't go right, don't go left, right?
Yeah. I mean, communication is a thing, but lots of variables though, right? Not just the vehicle.
Yeah.
So there's lots of variables.
There's lots of variables. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I wish you all the best with that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about your Grenadier. Why did you choose? So this is a Fieldmaster, is that right?
This is a Fieldmaster.
Fieldmaster.
Yeah.
Why did you choose a Grenadier? What did you have before? Let's talk about.
So I had the Lexus GX 460. That
that was
actually
your
was my
car.
daily driver. I
okay,
drove
right.
that every day, and my husband was very happy for me to be rid of that. So it was time to move on and do something new. And so I had my eyes on the Grenadier, and obviously it is a beautiful vehicle and it's super well engineered.
Yeah.
But not only that, the capabilities behind it and the story behind it, and being able to take this into places that I probably would not take my Lexus.
Right. Okay.
So, and having that rideability and the sense that you have such great control, not to mention the off-road capabilities in all of the different, from the locking differentials, which I didn't have any of those, and obviously in the Lexus. And so it's just the capabilities, just night and day. It's going to be real exciting to take this into the Rebelle this year.
Yeah.
Not this particular one, but there will be a few of these this year in the Rebelle. So
Yeah. How many will be in the
I
Rebelle?
think there's 3 or 4.
Oh, that many?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I'll be in the Quartermaster, so.
But obviously, because it's not yours, it's going to be way more capable than yours.
Yes.
Like a rental car, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mine will stay clean.
Yeah. All right. So what initially attracted you to it, though? Because, I mean, I guess there's not that many direct competitors to it. I mean, in price there is, but I mean, it's kind of it's a unique space. So what attracted you? Just because it was unique?
I think it's uniquely different. And I believe that at least here in the U.S., the car industry has gotten so vanilla and so...
so we've spoke about that off camera, vanilla, which is an awesome... Describe to me what vanilla is.
Blah. It's gotten very blah. It feels like you can go into a Costco parking lot and every car looks the same, and you just have to start hitting your button to see which one's going to unlock, because you can't tell. They all look the same. And so this one spiked my interest and my husband as well. And we thought, this is just such a beautiful utilitarian looking vehicle. And that's kind of our lifestyle. I mean, we're not just the go to the mall people or to go to Whole Foods people. We like to go off road. We like to, fly fish and to go bird hunting. And obviously our bird dog back there, Walter, but
he's
having a hard time. I know. And so we do like to get outdoors. And so we really wanted a vehicle that would complement our lifestyle and complement kind of our style of living. And this definitely fit the bill. I had no idea at that point the capabilities, though.
Right.
Because I hadn't really taken this thing into the off-road. And now that I know, it's like, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah, the off-road ability is, but also it's the versatility of it, of its utility, if you like, because it's quite happy not to do all of that stuff.
Exactly.
And it's not pretending to be something that it isn't, or doesn't take style over substance. It's kind of the other way around.
Yeah,
so.
I get approached quite a bit by people asking me about it, and how does it drive, and it is a vehicle that may not be for everyone, and that's and that's okay too, and because of the utilitarian style of it, and the way that it's built, and the way that it rides, and how it's different to get in and out of. I mean, everything is different, and I love it.
And up here, as opposed to being down in Salt Lake or anywhere else, but normal city stuff, do you still get stopped?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the time, right? Yeah.
I always see some people stop and take pictures. We had 3 Labradors. I had one of every color, and sometimes I'd put them all 3 in the back, and I think they were the most photographed dogs, and their little faces, sticking out through the back windows. It was really fun. And so, I mean, people love this. They're curious about this vehicle. They really want to know what it is. I mean, a lot of people they've never heard of Ineos. They don't even know what a Grenadier is.
Yeah, for sure.
So it is kind of interesting to see. And I know my husband, when he drives it, he gets stopped as well and asks the same question.
Yeah, I've had lots of people following me when I was in mine as well. But I mean, in terms of the design philosophy, it says a lot, doesn't it? Because the right angles, the proportions, the wheelbase, everything else, it very much, especially in the light colors, all the black accent bits, as we said, they kind of stick out, the wheel arches and the bumpers and all the rest of it. But when you're you know, when you look at it, you know, obviously you know what it is, but someone who doesn't know what it is, they've probably seen this shape in an old Land Rover or an old Land Cruiser or something like that. And that's what they relate to, because those vehicles have all become, you know, sort of vanillarified, if that's even a proper word. Is that a word? Probably
It's
not, but it's a word.
Vanillified.
It's a word right now, even if it's bad English. But yeah, cars have become so kind of generic, haven't they? So it's nice that some things do. And we're going to have a look at some of your other vehicles in a minute, which none of them I would describe as at all generic. I know your probably husband's probably pulling the face right now. Yeah, there's nothing generic about your other vehicles, or indeed this.
No, we like to use what we have. We don't try to protect it. We try to put it to the test of what its capabilities are. I mean, you think about the engineering that goes into vehicles and how underutilized it is, because people are afraid to break them, or they're afraid to hurt them. And it's such a shame, because, I mean, everywhere from a Porsche, which you'll see that should be on the track, to a Jeep that, you know, should be out in the wilderness, to this that could run the sand dunes, the biggest sand dune complex in the U.S. in the Imperial Sand Dunes. They're amazing.
I think a lot of the you know, the utility of these things people forget. And yeah, I guess you could have, you know, you can have this with 3 differential locks, and a lot of people don't know the difference between a padlock and a diff lock. Never mind how to use it. Right?
That's so true. That's so true.
But yeah,
it takes some learning.
You know, luxury cars. Not that I did describe this as a luxury car, I don't think. But you know, in terms of price, there's a lot of things out there that have so many features on. You know, which ultimately those features, whistles and bells, if you will, justify the price. And most people either don't know how to use that stuff, or it's of limited value, right?
If I would say more of the latter, probably limited value. They just don't use it. It's just...
And I think this has come from a place where, almost like a military vehicle, where it's been designed to do a very specific bunch of things, you know, collection of roles, and it does them very, very well. And anything that's not needed, or is not a mandatory requirement, you know, from the government, is being got rid of, you know. And that's a worldwide thing. So there's certain things on it that it has to have for different markets around the world. You know, like in the States, it has to have a reversing camera. You know,
exactly.
You know, and a lot of people ask with this vehicle, why doesn't it have other cameras? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, one, you don't need them because of the shape of it, you know, and on vehicles, when you drive off-road with cameras, you know, it's not an excuse for not getting out. You've still got to get out and have a look.
No matter, take a look.
And it's great for following a route, but it's not good for just, that's your only means of seeing where you're going.
Exactly.
You know, it's got no depth perception, have you, with one lens? So,
well, I will say the right angles is very helpful as far as placement of the vehicle.
Yeah, just in a parking space.
Just in parking spaces, but also, I mean, I did take it up into the Uintas last weekend, and on my own, by myself, with the dog, you know, and I locked out everything, and just understanding, and I was going through some pretty rocky terrain by myself. And yeah, I had to get out a couple times. Don't drive where you cannot see, but to understand that square utilitarianism design, it really does help for placement of the vehicle and knowing where you are, instead of having that rounded body where you have more blind spots. I feel like I have less blind spots in this than I did in my Lexus.
Well, I think the average car, you've got about 1.5 foot of hood. So the last thing that you see, it drops away. Yeah, and that's why we have the screen in the middle, right? So that we can see, you know, you can see the corners. So,
exactly.
Yeah, it works. It definitely works. Yeah. All right. Well, what we're going to do now is look at some of Michelle's other vehicles and see how they compare. You know, to give you an insight in, she's a gearhead, let's be honest, but see how it compares to the Grenadier and how it sort of complements the Grenadier in terms of its, you know, practicality, utility, you know, sort of classic vehicles, I suppose. All right, so we'll have a look at those. So guys, what we're going to do, just have a look at some of the vehicles. We'll start with the Michelle's Grenadier. So Michelle, tell us about your Grenadier. What have you done to it to sort of make it yours? Because everybody likes to personalize their own vehicle, right?
Yeah, I mean, the least expensive piece was buying the vehicle. The bells and whistles that you can add on these things are endless. So I've had to have some constraint. Basically, the only thing I've really done is we did add a winch that didn't come factory installed on the front. I did add some step plates, some Vemon plate step plates up here in case I do need to get on top of the hood for view ability, and then new wipers, big deal. But we did do the roof rack up top, so I can mount my Max Tracks and other types of gear.
Oh, I can just
Yeah,
see it
you
from
can
here.
barely see them.
Yeah.
But really, there wasn't much. Even in the interior, I just did an interior roof rack to put some of my recovery gear up there if I need it, get it off the floor so that I can put my dogs.
Yeah, that's a great use of that
Yeah,
space, in the
that
roof
headspace.
section. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't use it really for anything else. But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, we got the camel. Got to have the camel sticker, right?
Everybody's got the off-road camel sticker.
Gotta
right?
have it.
Yeah. We've seen quite a few of those. Yeah.
But I mean, I just felt like you could really go crazy and upgrade everything on it, and bigger suspension, bigger wheels and tires, and maybe someday I will. But for right now, I'm pretty happy with the way it handles. I call it bone stock, but I like how it handles bone stock.
Yeah, with the Oktoberfest, when we've done that, you'll find a lot of people are amazed that these will do stuff on their standard tires, that they'll rock crawl. And a lot of people do put bigger tires on there. So clearance is even better. But yeah, people are pretty impressed. And also people on the trail who coming the other way go, well, you've gone up there in that. And
I know.
Yeah.
I had a few people looking at me last week, and when I was up in the Uintas, I did drop the air down to make some clearance, but or to soften up the ride and absorb some of the rocks a little bit better. But it handled great, so I wasn't disappointed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you need to air down on the rocks, don't you? Otherwise, it's
they're pretty sharp. Yeah,
yeah,
pretty shaly.
So that being said, then, with in context of the Grenadier. Let's look at this, because this is another one this is not technically yours, but it is part of the family, right?
This is part of the family. This is George. We named this one George after our chocolate lab.
Right. And what is it? Tell us what it is.
This is a 1956 Jeep Willys.
Right. Okay.
And this was a very special vehicle for my husband to acquire because it was very similar to the one that he and his grandfather would drive in Michigan on the ranch that his grandfather and grandma had. So it was pretty spectacular to be able to find something like this just really close to here in Idaho. And,
Jeep really does have the best story, or one of the best stories in the automotive world. This was made for World War II, and two things that are that I love about this. If you didn't get the gas tank shot, which you sit on the gas tank.
You sit on the gas tank.
Look at the nice big bolt in the middle of the steering wheel here. I mean, that's going to motivate you not to have an accident, isn't it?
Yeah. No head-on crashes.
But yeah, joking apart though, there's nothing here that this thing, there's what you see is what you get. There's nothing that that's on here that you do not need.
But in a way, that's like the Grenadier. I mean, in some crazy ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
difference is
what you see is what you get.
We're where we are now, not in the 1940s. So there's a lot of stuff that it has to have. I mean, it doesn't even got any headrests, no seat belts. But back then, that's how stuff was, right?
Yeah.
The world was a different place. But yes, you're right. Yeah, I mean, that was the starting point of the Grenadier. But obviously, we were in, the idea came out only a few years ago, not in the 40s. So yeah, things are a little bit different. But yeah, nevertheless, this is a very, very cool vehicle. Yeah, and it's, yeah.
We've been driving around for, 12 years now?
And I bet it
12 years? Yeah, at least.
Gets lots of looks.
Oh, yeah. All the dogs have been in the back. We've had we've had some fun people take pictures and just taking it out for fun.
I like the vain attempt at sound deadening.
That was actually the dogs like to put their...
it's to stop them getting scratched.
Yes.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Yeah, because with bare metal in there, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, they won't slide around, yeah.
So it's probably made a limited difference to the NVH, the noise, vibration and harshness inside.
Hey, it's Tim Pettit from Off Road Ramble. This September the 27th, we're teaming up with Bolt Farms and chef Sarah Glover. Yes, that's Sarah Glover, for a modern adventure experience. Warner will be there with Grenadiers built for the kind of backcountry this event demands. Nothing polished, nothing performative, just purpose-driven vehicles doing what they're designed to do. And you'll get to hop in and experience them for yourself in between great food, great community and hard-working fashion. Tickets will be available soon for just under $100. Check the link in our bio. Warner Ineos Grenadier, built for real life.
All right, so let's have a look. You probably noticed just off camera there, we've got another Jeep. It almost looks the same, but it's actually not. So tell us about this one then.
Yeah, so this one's a 1986. So it's the last year that the CJ was made. And it's got the Dana 44 transmission, which was the last 2 months of production. Unlike the Jeep Willys that had a few repairs, this is all original, and just got it.
And how many miles is on it?
3,600 miles.
3,600 miles. That's incredible for something that was built
It'd be another
in the
vehicle
mid-80s.
for the dogs.
Yeah.
So.
And we need to get cassettes to put in the stereo
Have you
because
still got some cassettes?
no, we're gonna have to go retrieve some from somewhere.
So whoever's watching the
Yeah.
podcast, if you have extra cassettes, please send.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is completely. It is right off the showroom floor, immaculate. It's shocking that we were able to find this.
But again, you look at this and early version of kind of what the Grenadier is today.
Yeah. I mean, everything really comes from, the heritage of the Jeep. Everything, the Land Cruiser, the Land Rover was essentially a copy of the Jeep. Nissan Patrol, that's something we don't really have in the US, but that came out, I think it was like late 40s, early 50s. Same deal, really. So everything really, came from the Jeep. That kind of back to basics idea is really what it's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, the upright windshield,
Yeah.
the 360-degree view.
And again, we're saying about the Grenadier, you've got a nice, relatively low dashboard here. You look across, where it ends is where it ends. It's, wheel at each corner, very good approach, departure angles. So same difference, yeah? Yeah, exactly the same idea. Yeah, rather than overly complicating it or, second guessing the styling, for anything other than utility. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect.
Trying to make it something that it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you do need to appeal to a more, global audience, but then it gets kind of watered down, and safety steps in and aerodynamics step in, and before you know it, you're driving something that's very generic, and that's definitely not what this is. Yeah.
This is not vanilla.
No, this is not vanilla. What did we say? Vanilla-ified?
Vanilla. This is not vanillified. Neither. is
There you go.
vanillified.
Vanillified, yeah.
These are not vanillified. This is the real deal here.
Yeah. So let's step over to this side. So we've got some more very cool vehicles here. It's not, unfortunately, the lawn tractor over here with its cup holder. But Mike, tell us about this. This is pretty cool, right? Not exactly an off-road vehicle, but also very iconic. This is probably the best, most known sports car, either for its pedigree or for its shape, at least.
Yeah, I've just gotten into Porsches the last couple of years due to a friend, and this car is incredible. The fact that it can come right off the showroom and go right to a track, perform incredibly. Again, no boring cars.
No, I could definitely no boring cars. No. So this remind us what model this is. 911.
Carrera S.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do the GTS and the GT3.
So this is rear-wheel drive.
Correct.
Yeah, and this is a 3.6 liter.
I believe so.
Flat six, right? Yeah, and not turboed in this one.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turbo adds a lot of performance, but also adds a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Vehicles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the concept of this is engine in the back, which is from a sports car standpoint is probably not the best idea, but Porsche have made a phenomenal car out of this over the last since the very first rear engine ones, the 356. How old is that? So yeah, they've been doing it a long time, so they've definitely got it right.
Yeah, it's an incredible, absolutely incredible car of what it's capable of doing. I think the older ones with that rear engine, as you were talking about, have a tendency to slide out.
I think that's an understatement.
I was trying to be nice to Ford.
Yeah.
And with the suspensions, the modern day suspensions that they put in really stabilize that. So.
Yeah, and I think we were saying off camera, that if you look up one of these and an old one, these are significantly wider, but that's also why they're not the only reason, but one of the reasons that they're more stable, because they're fairly wide on the back end. which is kind of nice. And the other thing is you take this on a track, right? You were telling me you put it on a track and it still had the temporary tags on, right?
Yeah, I had it less than a week and went right to the motorsports park here in Utah, and had a great reaction from the instructors of, hey, you still have temporary tags? And I was like, yeah. And I'm taking it right to the track. And they were very excited because it rarely happens. But again, back to the statement of right from showroom, right to track. And this has not been modified at all.
Mm-hmm.
And incredible performance.
Do you think you'll get any more? You've been bitten by the bug for Porsches. Do you think you'll get some others, some older ones? Because you got this really cool old Jeep and that. Do you think you might dig into some Porsche heritage as well as?
I may take it one step at a time.
We need a bigger garage.
Yeah. Like you said, you get bitten by the bug. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There is something special about vintage vehicles, though. There's just because there's so much history in them, and it's like old money, new money. It's just to feel the history. It's just they're so special, you know.
Yeah, and the heritage of, Jeep, as we said, it's got the best story, right? But yeah, Porsches. If you dig into, we're not going to go into it now, but if you think of the original, German people's car, and then it became the Porsche 356 after the Beetle and all the rest of it. And yeah, how that story, you couldn't make it up any better than that, could you? How it came about, it's an amazing piece of history. Whereas, a lot of cars are just designed to do a job, and there's not much in the way of, cool stories or cool history behind them. But yeah, you definitely couldn't say that about Porsche. That's for sure.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, because when you take it on the track, obviously there's other cars, and they're called gentleman track days, right? And you see Corvettes, you see McLarens. What I like about the Porsche, it looks like it belongs on the track. Just the way it performs and handles.
Yeah, definitely.
And he has spent some quality time back in Birmingham, Alabama, at Barber Motor, Lawrence Park, really being trained by some of the best trainers out there to get this thing on the track and to have that safety and that handleability.
Don't brake there.
Yeah.
Don't turn there.
Yeah.
Accelerate there.
Yeah.
Gas.
Yeah, very different from what you do on the road, right?
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of a lot of bad habits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And driving on the road, we're humans, we're not robots. We have habits, and it's and then if you off-roads, it's the same, lots of bad habits through doing that. So that's the opposite end of the scale, right? But I think it's just a general understanding of your vehicle, right? Depending on what environment you're using it in.
The frustrating part, though, is I love driving it, and I drive it weekly, but taking it back out onto the road after you've been on the track, knowing what it's capable of.
Yeah, and when you're clocking along at 80 mile an hour after you've been doing 140 mile an hour on the track, you're like, I really need to slow down here, because it feels ridiculous, doesn't it, when you've traveled so fast, and then you've got to, you can't do that on the road.
Well, we had firsthand experience of that, because I actually went back with him on a couple of those trainings, and he would get done off the track, and I would insist that I drive the rental car back to the hotel, because he didn't realize how fast he was going.
But a rental car, how many times have we said that in this podcast? It's the most capable, fastest car in the world ever. Doesn't matter what it is, right?
It's not your.
That Jeep Grand Wagoneer never saw freeway speeds of what he was pushing, and I'm like, let me drive.
Yeah. Joking apart, it's your perception of speed, isn't it? So when you've been on traveling at that speed all day, it's you have to be very
60
careful.
miles an hour seems incredibly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's all right.
All right. Well, thanks for showing us around all your very cool cars, both of you, Mike and Michelle. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and good luck with the Rebelle Rally. We'll probably film you for doing that. When you come back and get some feedback on that. But yeah,
Great.
all right.
And you can follow us on the entire route. So get out there and rebellerally.com.
We probably will. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope that's been of some interest. And we'll like, subscribe, and all that sort of cool stuff. And we'll speak to you soon. Thanks.